Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to the brand new series of Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kiri Kermode. I went along to the MSPCA in Foxdale to find out how to prepare our pets for fireworks and bonfire night.
And a couple of weeks ago, the Isle of Man branch of WAG, the Farming and Wildlife Advisory Group, held their annual prize givings and the award of the Bronze Chough. Well, firstly, Kiri, welcome along to our listeners and yourself to our new series of Countryside. It's been a few weeks, a lot happening around the farms, a bit of a mixed bag of weather again, as we said, but it's not been too bad. There's been lots of farm work being able to get done.
Yeah, lately the weather's been quite nice and mild. It's been fairly dry underfoot. We've had an odd heavy spell of rain, but generally speaking, it's been a nice back end running into now housing the cattle ready for winter. I know some boys have got the rollers going and the grain there ready for the cattle to fatten them through the winter months. A lot of silage has been done this year, so hopefully stocks will be good as we enter the winter period.
Yeah, excellent news. More when we speak to a few farmers in the next coming weeks. But firstly, of course, bonfire night tonight, Kiri, if you're listening to the live programme, and preparations, because there's always a worrying time for people with animals.
It really is, and I went along to MSPCA to catch up with Krish, who's in charge of putting out information to pet owners to how to cope with fireworks and bonfire night. It was really interesting, her thoughts. Here's Krish.
So my role is obviously fundraising, making sure we can try get some food and some obviously monies in to be able to fund the animals in our care, that's pets and wildlife. Hopefully find them new homes to go into, and if they're wildlife, hopefully release them back into the wild.
Oh gosh, so no 2 days are the same then?
No, every day is different. Everything that walks in is completely new.
That is really, really great, and it's so special to have this centre here on the Isle of Man. How long have you been here now?
So I've been here 7 years.
Wow, and the MSPCA's been here a bit longer than that now, I suppose.
About 120 odd years, I think, yeah.
Goodness, wow. So day to day, you're obviously looking after the animals here. This month is bonfire fireworks. Now, how do we prepare our pets for, obviously, the celebrations of that?
So I'd say all pets are different. So if you have dogs, cats, it can be as wide as rabbits, horses, etc. Things that you can do to prepare for tonight, with the loud bangs and the lovely lights going off. If you are walking your dog, please walk them earlier on, so as soon as it gets dark, you can expect, if it's not the normal Douglas fireworks going off, it would be some neighbours' fireworks going off as well. Always make sure that your dog is up to date on microchip in case they do manage to escape and get out. Same with your cats. And if you are able to lock your cat flaps on your doors and keep your dogs in, we recommend doing that just to make sure that they're safe and they're inside and not out on the loose on the roads or anything. Same with rabbits, make sure they're indoors. If you have got pets inside, pop the radio on, pop some enrichment on, and hopefully it'll drown them out. Close your curtains over. You're still able to enjoy them from your window, of course, as long as your dogs are safe. If they are getting a little bit shaky and they are a bit scared, always have a safe space to set up for them, whether that be an open crate or maybe just a little igloo, like a den of sofas or blankets, etc. It's something they can hide into so they can relax a bit more. But always with the enrichment, gives them something nice to chew on or something as a licky mat, and hopefully they will get a lot better throughout the night.
Yeah, and saying that, obviously, is it because it only happens once a year? Is it just something out of the ordinary that triggers sort of the fear?
Yes, so it could be, so obviously they go off in New Year's sometimes, maybe cars backfiring might also trigger it. Things to start preparing for if you've got a puppy or if you've got a dog or a cat that are just getting used to the noises. Earlier on in the year, get some enrichment out, if you're lucky mat, your Kong, etc., anything you can get that your dog likes. Put on YouTube some firework music on a low volume, and then gradually over so many days or weeks, you can increase the volume of the fireworks, and your dog will be none the wiser because it'll be too busy enjoying its treats. So by the time fireworks comes or New Year's comes, you're already prepared and they're already used to knowing the bangs, etc. Walking them during the fireworks is a completely different scenario. Obviously with the lights, the vibrations of the sound, lots of people cheering. So maybe baby steps for your dogs first. Just get them used to being inside whilst the fireworks are going with some enrichment and some nice music on.
Yes, this is incredible. And for the wildlife, of course, it's nighttime generally, so more often they'll be gone to bed, or so to speak. How does it affect them?
So the noise and the vibrations, obviously the smoke, etc. For bats, for one example, that would be one thing because they're completely nocturnal. They're quite good at hiding and finding cover, so they will try to avoid the areas. But we always say if you are one that is setting fireworks off, do it in an open area, not somewhere that it might go off into the plantation or into the forest or anything like that. And be aware if you're having bonfires, after the bonfires go down, you might get hedgehogs going under to try and get the warmth. Just be careful when you are clearing that space that there will be wildlife around, and just double check before you do decide to light anything up. And obviously stay safe for yourself and stay safe for the animals.
Yeah, this is, and like you say, at New Year, I suppose it has become more of a celebration to have fireworks. But I think on the Isle of Man, we're quite lucky. We have the organised ones sort of on the beaches away from these areas where the animals are.
Yes, it's so much better, much more viewable for everyone else to enjoy. So not everyone has to go out and buy fireworks because the safety aspects that come with that. But if you are out enjoying the fireworks, Douglas tonight on the prom, fantastic. And just make sure you keep your pets and your animals inside and out of the way. If they are getting a bit scared, maybe don't take them out on the walks to find the fireworks. I know some dogs enjoy it, but always just read your dog's body language. So keep them safe first, because the last thing you want is your dog getting spooked and running off.
No, this is exactly it. So hopefully some of those helpful hints, Krish, will be adhered to tonight, and everybody can enjoy it. But also here at the MSPCA, you've got great volunteers here today coming in and out and looking at the animals and rehoming. How do people get involved with what you do up here, the great work?
So you're more than welcome to volunteer. You can fill out our volunteers form. It's on our website at www.manxspca.com. You can fill that form in. Once we receive that form by email or drop it in, we can get you up to do a health and safety inspection. Once that's all cleared, so you know your ins and outs and where you are, you're more than welcome to start volunteering. We've got dogs you can walk, we've got cats you can socialise with, the small animals section as well, the rabbits and guinea pigs. There's pretty much all sorts you can come up and do. We've also got the aviary, which is empty at the moment, no birds, but that's a good thing. It means no one needs to come in. But than that, you can volunteer that way. And if you're interested in adopting, we do have our adoption forms on our website as well, and you can register to adopt, which you fill in your information and what animal you're interested in, and our teams are fantastic. Any animal that comes in gets health checked and they get assessed over a week period, so we get to see what their previous homes were like and see what homes would be beneficial to go into. We'll check through every single form that's registered with us, and we'll contact the ones that are the best suitable matches. If you are a lucky match, we'll contact you, tell you all about the dog, the cat, the small animal, whatever it is you all want to adopt. You come and meet them and you go from there, and if it's not a match, don't worry, we'll keep on looking for you and for the pet, and if it is a match, we'll go through the adoption process and you'll have a new family member.
Oh, isn't that great? And I suppose for some people, Krish, that don't have the space at home, this is a really nice environment where you can come and get some animal therapy and love, and it's great being with the fur babies.
Oh yeah, it's so much relaxing, and it saves you a bill as well. So, but once you start volunteering, you get to know more of the animals, and you get more attached to them. You get to know their personalities, their quirks. If you're a dog lover, as long as you don't mind the rain, get your wellies on in your raincoat. We've got lots of fields to be enjoying. The dogs love it, and we've also got indoor areas as well for those dogs or people that don't like the rain. You can hide away in our play barn with the garden. Our team are so welcoming. You can have a cup of tea or a coffee with them. They'll tell you all about the dogs, what their likes and dislikes are. And if you hang around and volunteer as long as you could do, you might be able to either adopt one yourself, or you'll be able to watch your new little rescue love of your life go on to their new happy forever home.
Oh, and that is really, really something special, isn't it? And how is rehoming? Obviously, since the pandemic, there was an awful lot of people buying up dogs during that time. Has it settled down a little bit more now?
So we had a spike earlier in the year. Last year we only had just under 60 dogs that came in as rehoming, which is really low. For 7 years ago we had 130 in 1 year. Lockdown, we've seen the opposite to the UK, so we didn't have many dogs at all. It was fantastic. And then we've seen the increase of young dogs coming in. Obviously, they've not been able to have their socialisation experience because we've been in lockdown. So we have seen quite a few younger dogs in, more so this year than anything. We've seen more breeding on the island, which means more puppy sales, because there's not such an avenue for them and people can go back to the UK to buy them now. Puppies seem to be selling cheaper than they were in lockdown, which could make them more available to more people then being able to own a dog. And then it's after the puppy phase, which is all very nice and cute and chewy, with their little shark teeth. We start to see them coming in about a year and a half old. This year we had 6 puppies within 6 weeks come in free homing. They didn't stay long at all, which is an absolute bonus because it's fantastic. We have all these registered forms waiting to adopt, but we have got 3 dogs that are still with us. They've been with us for a few months now, and they're still looking for their forever home. No doubt most people will know who they are. Cooper, our Cocker Spaniel, who's most famous. We have Chaz, the bulldog, who with the cleft lip. He's full of character. He was our main football player during the football season. And we also have Dexter, the German Whitehead Pointer, who originally was from Greece.
Oh,
And he's just a baby. He was rescued from a rescue centre in Greece from a fire. A UK rescue centre that deals with the breed, rescued quite a lot of dogs, including him. He got adopted from there to someone over here in the Isle of Man, but because they are well known for their prey drive, he was quite keen to chase small things, and so he came in free homings. But he's a lovely dog. He's a big sofa boy. He doesn't realise how long he is or how quick he has to stop his legs when he's running towards you, and he's just a bundle of love. So they're still looking for homes. So if you're interested, you can get in touch with us or come up and volunteer and meet them.
well, this is it. And like you say, it's not all about dogs up here. You've got all the small animals, and I know not everybody has space for a dog, I suppose.
No, but you don't need the space when you come up. We've got all the space you could need, and if it's not a dog, it could be a cat or a kitten. It could be a small animal like a rabbit or a guinea pig. We've had them all in. 2 years ago, we had 13 tarantulas in.
Oh my word, that would freak me out.
Yeah. We've had a snake in. You name it, we've had it in, no doubt. But that's the joy of working here. You never know what walks through the doors and what animal you'll be helping next.
And with the tarantulas, now you've got me there, are they easy to rehome?
I didn't go anywhere near the unit for the time they were in because we were told one of them was poisonous, but we didn't know which one. And so we had a lovely gentleman that comes in that's quite an expert with tarantulas, and he came and took them all, so I didn't have to go anywhere near them.
That's fantastic. But it's a great, if someone's got a love for those pets and can give them a forever home, that's just so special. Yeah. And so through the winter months, what do we do to look after our wildlife outside, Krish? What would you recommend?
So we've got a few hedgehogs that should be going into hibernation, although this year we have seen, with such climate change and the weather being crazy this year, we have seen hedgehogs giving birth later on in the year, so they're being later going into hibernation, and we're seeing them some more come in for for health checks and for just a bit of help to go into rehibernation. And so we're hoping that people can keep an eye out on their wildlife, make sure there's bits of water out for them to drink. If they need any feeding, Tesco and Pets at Home now do hedgehog food in a tin, and that helps them out as well. Please don't give them milk because they're lactose intolerant.
Well, who knew that?
I know.
Isn't that amazing?
So that's always a new one for me. But no, keep an eye on your wildlife, obviously your birds and your bat. There is lots of different animal rescues and charities over here. You've got the Bat Sanctuary over here, the Batman, and you've got different wildlife trusts. You've got the seal rescues as well, because there's a few seals coming up in the beaches nowadays. We work all together with all these different animal rescues because it's better to work together and help the animals we have than it is to go solo and not work out. So there's lots of help out there. So if it's not us, there's other rescues and charities that are able to give lots of advice and help you at the end of a phone call as well.
There we go. That was Krish Burrock from the MSPCA.
And great advice there. And it's such a weird thing for me to listen to about using the social media and the platforms to get advice on training.
This is it. Yeah. It's crazy to think that you can play the music in the background, the firework music from puppies right the way through to get them trained up to get used to the bangs and the noise that comes and all the laughter and entertainment that goes with a firework display now. But great advice there from Krish for the winter to look after the animals too. And great little tea rooms there as well.
Yeah, I suppose you ate all the biscuits too, did you?
Not this time.
You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kiri Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, a couple of weeks back, the FWAG, Isle of Man version of the Farming and Wildlife Advisory Group, held their annual awards presentation night. There was great awards and some great farms that were visited by the judges, and the Bronze Chough was awarded at the end of the programme. Firstly, I spoke to Julian Tier from Lena Ballacurca in Sulby. So it must be, great that you've been recognised and honoured in the small farm category today, Julian.
Yes, I appreciate the judges selecting me for the awards. I only have a very small holding, really. It's on Curric land, managed to the best of my ability. Everything is documented. It's like a balance sheet. When you put your stock in one field, you make a note of it, how long they've been in, how long another field has been empty, and it's continuously rotated to make the best possible value you can of it, and that's the way it's done.
Yeah, and then that was extremely pointed out, I think, with the records that you kept, the handwritten ones as well, Julian.
Yes.
And it was, well documented that this is something that has been lost for a number of years, and to see people still doing it, keep a note on, particularly how long stock and things have been in the fields.
It's something I like to, and it proves how you farm, when you did something. It could be several years in the future. You look back, you want to know when you did a particular job in one field, it's there. You look at the history of the place as well. Mr. Arthur Cayley, the Manx giant, the great man himself used to farm there. Wow. So it's something with a lot of history attached to it.
It is.
Yes.
Well, many congratulations on your awards.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Well, awards in the habitat management throughout upland grazing, and also highly commended in the larger farm section of the Chough Awards. Philip Christian, you and Rosie put a lot of work in on the farms, and it must be a great honour to receive the awards that you have today, but it must be fairly difficult with all the variations in areas of land that you farm in.
Yeah, it's not an easy job at all, Simon. We're quite spread out over the north of the island, up in the hills, down low as well. Yeah, so it's quite an operation, really. I've got a good team with me, so it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, but of course some of the farmings and the wildlife preservation has been going on at the Gilkirk farm, and that's been synonymous over years with its woodland areas and the way that they've kept the wild bird section and everything going there.
Yeah. On all my farms, I'm on a tenanted, so there's always previous work from past tenants involved too, and we're all just caretakers really. So we just take on from the next person and carry it going and try and improve it at the same time.
And how difficult is it with the commercial side of farming and trying to keep the sort of biodiversity side of it going? But I suppose the more it's going on and the more that you're attending do's like this, you get ideas and chat to people of what they've done and what they found easy and simple, which makes a big difference.
Yeah, we're learning new stuff every day, we all are, and anybody that said there isn't they're not on the same page. But the general farming practices, and try and do everything as we can and when we can, and just farming in general, it's the way that's shaped the countryside for thousands of years, and just got to keep it going.
One thing that was mentioned, and not a breed I've heard of, Philip, Oreo cattle.
Yeah. That seems to be a nickname given to them by the public. They seem to be gathering quite a fan base. It's the belted Galloways that can be seen at the Rest and Be Thankful out Mackledway there.
But it's a brilliant way to introduce the younger generation into seeing and getting involved in it.
Yeah, definitely. Anything that attracts the public and to educate them is always a benefit.
Well done to you, Rosie, and all the team.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Simon.
Well, the winners of the larger farm, David and Sarah Quayle, many congratulations first of all. Great to receive such a great award at the Chough presentation today.
Yeah, thanks very much. Sort of completely unexpected really, but a complete honour. enjoyable couple of days, or enjoyable day, having them all around the farm and showing them. I suppose we're slightly off the norm in the way we do things. We're slightly unconventional, but yeah.
Sometimes that's a great thing, and a lot of the people that I've had the pleasure of talking to at these awards over the years, a lot of the farms have started out in that unconventional way, and it seems to work pretty well with commercial farming and the biodiversity as well.
Yeah. So I guess we went down the line of starting a replacement flock of Exlana sheep, which are wool shedders, but that's only kind of part of the story. We're into rotational grazing and big recovery rest periods, and with those two things we've been able to completely eliminate any anthelmintics and worm control, and we don't use any blowfly treatment on the backs of them, or we don't have to dip or inject or anything like that at all.
That's such a marvellous thing, because it's something that's been controversial, I suppose, over years, not just with the land, but health worries as well and things like that. So, how did you become knowledgeable in that side of it? Where did that all come from?
I'm a little bit of a self-confessed soil geek.
That's never a bad thing.
Listen to lots of podcasts and things while I'm sort of driving around. But essentially, because we don't live on site, and we farm lots of different blocks all over the island, we the necessity for a very simple system that would sort of look after itself sort of drove the whole thing, really. So we lamb outdoors. The breed is sort of slightly more on the maternal side of things than terminal, so they lamb themselves, they get up with it and get on with it. Very, very few issues, really.
But to put yourselves, to sort of, when you get asked and you sort of say, well, all right, come around and have a look, what sort of feeling is that? A nervy feeling when they're going to come around judging?
It's very daunting to sort of open it up and invite a load of people around and show them what's what, because you never know how these things are going to be taken. We're very, very proud of what we're doing and what we're achieving,
It sounds like everyone else is as well, which is must be a very satisfying thing.
Very much so. Very much so. I'd have to sort of say as well, we have another guy, Nick Neen, who is kind of sort of partners us really with the Exlana sheep down at Bell Abbey. So the two of us sort of almost run that sort of 50-50 really, and that's our kind of replacement breeding flock for our own sort of more commercial flocks elsewhere. So at the end of the year, sort of we'll take half the breeding stock of it, and he'll take half the breeding stock to his place. But with Nick living in Colby on hand, he does a lot of the sort of day-to-day checking and moving of that particular place. Sort of couldn't do it really without his input.
Well, brilliant team effort by the sound of things, and well done on your awards.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, the winner of the smaller farms and also the bronze Chough winners for 2024, Jenny Shepherd and Rawdon Haynes, many congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We spoke to you last year at the awards, and it was great to hear what the judges were saying then, and it must have been, wonderful to see what the Cool brothers did and what they went on to do, and for you to be recognised and given the Chough this year, it must be a great feeling, Rawdon.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic, and sorry Jenny couldn't be here, but grandchildren and things like that in half term, so sadly she's not here, but she would have been really so pleased.
One of the great things, hearing the Chris Neal saying what the judges thought of it, with you having some high land and low land, a lot of contrast there, and making so much use of putting ponds in near the River Neb and stuff there, which has been absolutely of great interest, not just to the farming community, the wildlife, but all the people involved in biodiversity.
Yeah, I mean, in the lowlands, I spent about 8 years trying to drain it properly, and then of course the Neb comes over, and it's a floodplain anyway, and so in the end I sort of really gave up to nature, and back in the 1800s it was a claddock. Anyway, so we were fighting nature, and so nature won. But actually, what it's been such a benefit for us is that we built these. I have to call them scrapes because they're not ponds, but that's for planning purposes. And so we built these really so that when the neb comes over and the river comes over, it goes through the fields and it cleans the water up at the same time as going down to Peel. So we actually take a lot of sediment as well. But it's brought in the wildlife, and that is just so rewarding to see. The number of birds we've got down there now, and we're really looking forward to the wintering birds this year. And from a farm perspective as well, we're able to use this area in the summer for grazing, and we can get hay off one of the fields lower down as well. So it's productive, but then in the winter it's non-productive. But hopefully when we get the ornithologists in to actually see the birds arriving, that'll be an income stream for the farm. So it's working with nature and the farm as a business as well.
It really is great to see you so enthusiastic about it, and really genuinely happy and grateful to receive an award like this tonight.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean it's unbelievable. Yeah, I think this is I think the greatest award I've had. But it's absolutely brilliant.
Many congratulations to you and Jenny.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, Fwag Isle of Man Administrator Hilary Fletcher, it's great to speak to you, and at the Chough Awards, the Bronze Chough Awards for 2024. Fantastic group of people and some great award winners this year.
Oh yes, incredible. 2 lovely days out checking with the judges, looking at what each of the farmers were doing. Very, very diverse farms, from very small farm that has an ASSI up to a large mix of hill and lowland farm. So a huge range of farms.
And that was great talking to the Ballacoshenhan, where they've got the Highland and then next to the river. The same with Faradale Farms with Rosie and Philip there. Such diverse areas that they've managed to create interest from all sorts of parties in each area.
Yeah, it's great. And the best part for me is, although I help doing the organisation, I don't have to judge, and that makes my day really enjoyable.
But even to hear them all chatting at an event like this and asking them, how did you find out about that and where do you get the ideas? And from a lot of them is through the community, to do with the Wildlife Trust and members that have been here, and the FWAG, and of course the farmers, all chatting together and saying, yeah, well, I tried this and this worked for me.
Yeah, I think the best way to pick up any ideas is from somebody else who's doing it. And this is what we've tried to do. This year we've been really, really fortunate with support from DEFA to bring several speakers over. And farmers like to hear from farmers, and they like the honesty, because lots of farmers will say, we tried this and it was rubbish, it didn't work for me, it might work for you. But everybody's situation is different, everybody's land is different, and what works in one place might not work for somebody else. So it's nice for people to actually see things happening on the island and know that, well, if it works over the hedge, it might work for me on my side of the hedge.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well, great awards. Well done to all you and the committee.
Thank you very much.
There we are, the prize winners at the annual FWAG Awards, and of course the winner of the Bronze Chough Trophy there going to Ballacoshenhan Farm with Jenny Shepherd, and we heard there from Rawdon Hain, the winners of this year, and a very delighted and very humble Rawdon there speaking after he received the Bronze Chough Award. The other award winners, Julian Tier from Lena Ballacurca, who won the DEFA Award of Merit for commitment to conservation, and also award for the highly commended in the smaller farms. The runner-up in the smaller farms was John Tier from Calooney's farm there in Braddon. Also, the small farms winner was Jenny Shepherd and Rawdon Hain from Ballacosnahan Farms. In the larger farm category, highly commended was Faradale Limited with Philip and Rose Christian there, describing their vast area that they had to look after. The large farmer runner-up was John and Fiona Anderson from Knockalo Beg Farm over in the west, and the large farm winner was David and Sarah Quayle and the family there, who one of the younger generations, I suppose, farming and doing well to come away with the Large Farm Awards winner. The special award for habitat management throughout the upland grading also went to Faradale Limited with Phil and Rose. So a fine array of awards, and it's very interesting speeches as well, and listening to what they had to say and listening to what the judges had to say about how they were diversifying with the commercial farm and integrating, I should say, commercial farming with doing some work for saving the countryside as well.
It is absolutely fantastic. We have that here on the Isle of Man quite naturally with most of the farming enterprises. We're very lucky. It's not very monoculture, and there's no intensive farming as we see across the Europe and into some of the UK. It's a delight to see some of the younger farmers getting involved with that side of it. You know, commercial farming is so important, but to keep the balance of wildlife in your mind is also great. And I think hats off to Paul Fletcher and his committee there that really brought the FWAG group back into the limelight. Everyone's wanting to get involved. They've brought some fantastic speakers over lately, well-attended meetings, so it's certainly hitting home with a few people to get involved and enjoy it.
It certainly is. Well, if you've got anything for Countryside, leave a message for Kiri Kermode or myself, Simon Clark, here at Manx Radio 682 600, or you can email countryside@manxradio.com, and you can listen again to the programmes if you miss part of it, or you want to just listen to some of the interviews in a longer format. You can download our Manx Radio Countryside podcast by going to manxradio.com. That's it for this week. We're back next week with more. So until then, from me, Simon Clark,
and me, Kiri Kermode.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.